Best Quotes by Thomas Sowell. I have never understood why it is greed to want to keep the money you have earned, but not greed to want to take somebody else's money. Socialism, in general, has a record of failure so blatant that only an intellectual could ignore or evade it. Since this is an era when people are concerned about fairness and social justice, what is your fair share of what someone else has worked for? It takes considerable knowledge just to realize the extent of your own ignorance. The problem isn't that Johnny can't read, or even that Johnny can't think. The problem is that Johnny doesn't know what thinking is. He confuses it with feeling. People who enjoy meetings should not be in charge of anything. Inflation is the most universal tax of all. It is a way to take people's wealth from them without openly raising taxes. Although the big word on the left is compassion, the big agenda on the left is dependency. Immigration laws are the only laws that are discussed in terms of how to help the people who break them. What multiculturalism boils down to is that you can praise any culture in the world except Western culture, and you cannot blame any culture in the world except Western culture. Liberalism is totalitarianism with a human face. The more people who are dependent on government handouts, the more votes the left can depend on for an ever-expanding welfare state. If you are not prepared to use force to defend civilization, then be prepared to accept barbarism. Helping those who have been struck by unforeseeable misfortunes is fundamentally different from making dependency a way of life. When you want to help people, you tell them the truth. When you want to help yourself, you tell them what they want to hear. Mystical references to society and its programs to help may warm the hearts of the gullible, but what it really means is putting more power in the hands of bureaucrats. The first lesson of economics is scarcity. There is never enough of anything to satisfy all those who want it. The first lesson of politics is to disregard the first lesson of economics. Much of the social history of the Western world over the past several decades has involved replacing what worked with what sounded good. Intellect is not wisdom. Socialism is a wonderful idea. It is only as a reality that it has been disastrous. Its every failure is explained away as due to the inadequacies of particular leaders. One of the consequences of such notions as entitlements is that people who have contributed nothing to society feel that society owes them something, apparently just for being nice enough to grace us with their presence. We seem to be getting closer and closer to a situation where nobody is responsible for what they did, but we're all responsible for what someone else did. Best quotes by Thomas Sowell.